Welcome into our Golf Channel studios. Tripp, Isenhour, Chantel, McCabe with you, and we see the scene behind us. It's the 16th at TPC Scottsdale.
Yes.
I've gotten to go 2 times. Once for morning drive, which is a total different environment than when you're there for the central portion of the hours.
The day transpires.
It certainly does. You get 2 very different effects, but
Yes.
ultimately the same thing happens year after year. 20,000 people there. And
On that hole.
Yes, just on that hole. There. Just
There.
on the one Coliseum, the most famous Coliseum.
Yes.
In golf at least, and it's an intimidating shot. And what's interesting is we debate every year the fact that is this good for golf, is this bad for golf, but players were telling me this year that they think less of the bigger names are going to compete because it's getting out of control and the players are not enjoying it. It's one of those things. If you've been to Kentucky Derby, you've been to the Super Bowl, once you've been, you're like, okay, that was a lot of effort and work, and I enjoyed it, but is it really worth going through all of that trouble and the expense and all of that to go again? It's crazy logistics that go into this, but you've got some funny stories from that.
Oh, I do. but look, first of all, let me get from the golf standpoint. I don't get the players not coming because of that hole.
Really?
I mean, look, if you can't handle a little bit of heckling,
Yes.
come on.
Yeah, but it's really kind of filtered out to other holes. 17 and 18 are now just
they are
getting as rowdy.
They are, but look, it happens only at this tournament.
Yeah.
It's not like this every week on the PGA Tour.
I'm
and it's a
100%.
special place. It's like the Daytona 500 of golf. I mean, it's I think of a regular PGA Tour event that doesn't have like a player's name on it, like Jack Nicklaus or Arnold Palmer or something like that. I think this one and the Honda Classic are 2 that stand out. And guess what? They both have a hole late in it that's kind of like this. Honda's has kind of developed. I played the first Honda Classic at PGA in 07, and I can tell you it was nowhere near what that hole has evolved into at the Honda Classic. And I'm talking about the 17th hole, the last leg of the bear trap. This hole is so much easier than that hole.
Yeah.
And the good thing from a player standpoint is it is a mundane par 4. Okay, if you and I were playing at Chantel, you're never going to make worse than a 4 on it. I'm never going to make worse than a 4 as a pro. I can guarantee you that. So it's not a hard shot. You're hitting an 8 or 9 iron. Okay. If I'm playing that hole on Monday with nobody around, I hit it 15, 20 feet from the hole every single time, and I 2-putt, maybe occasionally 1-putt and move on. Now, Thursday I walk through the tunnel and there are 20,000 people there yelling at you, screaming, and all this stuff, and you are a little bit nervous. You are.
Yeah, you are.
So, okay, funny stories from there.
Okay, funny stories from there.
Because the college kids from ASU, they're on the left by the tee, okay? And they famously have theirs is like a bleacher that they inhabit every single year. It's a tradition. And they do their research on the players.
The heckle list is pretty strong.
It is strong, and their game is strong. So, 07, we're playing, and they knew my real name, which is not that hard to find. My real name is not Tripp Isenhour.
I know.
Okay?
I've Googled you.
Yes. Okay. So that is not my. They of course started calling me that.
Okay.
And
so that didn't get under skin.
no, I loved it. But here's the kicker: the guy I was playing with, dog's name they knew.
Yeah, they go pretty deep, and they get inside golf knowledge, about
yes.
extracurriculars from college.
Yes. And
so it might surprise guys that are like, okay, whoa, I've thought I've seen it all, and I've really heard it all.
yes, but I give them credit for that. I think that's wonderful.
Sure, but your personality is not the same as other guys. You're a lot more fun than other people.
All right. Well, I understand that. But so anyway, I appreciate it. So the next day, I went and gathered all the hats that I had in my locker, and I asked some manufacturers to send me. They didn't get there in time, unfortunately. I was going to go reward them because I was like, I love this. This is awesome. I want these guys. So I ran over there, and I was going to run over and kind of jump into the crowd kind of thing and throw hats to them because I was like, way to go, keep it up. And as I'm running over there, I noticed there was jumping cholla. And if you've ever been to Arizona, you know what jumping cholla are?
No.
They're the cacti that jump off and jump at you. I
didn't even know about this.
And they are not fun. Okay. So there's tape of me doing this because I'm running over.
I'm going to search it.
and I'm running over to throw these hats up, and I start seeing the jumping Choya. So I start jumping like a.
Oh my gosh!
And I had to stop myself. So I ended up throwing them up into the thing, and I couldn't. And I kind of ran away from it. But anyway, my plan was to go there, and I got detoured by the jumping Choya. And then the next year. Bubba was throwing hats up in there.
So
Ricky was throwing.
I was just going to say, because there was one year that beef threw the Arby's head covers in there. Yep. So you started that tradition.
I did. And what was wild, this is
important.
No, but listen to this. Now this is the PGA Tour, and I love the PGA Tour. Don't get me wrong. But after that, the commissioner and the deputy, the player, really the head of the guy that handed out fines. Okay, Henry Hughes was his name at the time. They both told me, they said, way to go interacting with the fans at 16. That's really cool. We love to see that kind of thing, Tripp, from our players. Okay, I thought, great. So players are doing that next year. Well, lo and behold, 3 years ago, they said stop doing that.
Huh. Well, I know people that are doing it this year.
I know, but
same
don't stop that.
The Caddy Race, that was actually entertaining.
The Caddy Race was, I understand, because we have too many lawyers, and I get that, and that's the reason why that was stopped. Because
people still do it.
I hope they do, but the problem is...
Suck it up and take the fine.
The problem is they just need to sign a waiver. And sign a waiver. If the caddies want to race, then let them race, but then they can't. I get the tour being protective about that, because at one of their events, if a caddy hurts himself, he could have legal recourse.
Of course.
But I would say, okay, you want to race and have fun like that, sign a waiver.
Yeah.
Right? But anyway, the other funny story that year is I'm playing with a couple of guys on Saturday or Sunday, and I said, you know what? I haven't been booed yet. I've hit good shots here every time.
Famous last words.
And I said, and I said, have you been booed? He's like, and we were talking about this on the 14th hole. Because players start talking about 16 when they're on 14 or whatever, because you can hear it, it's coming up. So we were all kind of talking about that stuff, and the guy goes, "Oh yeah, I've been booed a couple of times. It's not fun." And I said, "I don't know. I think it'd be kind of fun." And so we're going through, and the other player I'm playing with, same thing. He's like, "Yeah, it doesn't bother me, but yeah, I've been booed." And I said, "Well, I haven't been." And they said, "Well," they said, "We hope you never do." So I hit my shot. Now it's a 9-iron, pins front left, and I kind of towed it just a little bit. And other player, you know
when it happens.
And my ball's in the air, and it looks good in the air. Like, it started at the hole, and it looks pretty doggone good. But as a player, it's going to go a little bit more left because of where I hit it on the club. You can tell by the sound.
Yeah.
Player walked by me. He goes, "Get ready, buddy."
Ah!
And it hits just left of the green, down the hill, and the crowd, "Boo, boo, you suck. Go back to the web tour. You suck."
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah. That
wasn't fun. But
that's
you appreciate
fine.
Okay, but not everybody appreciates
it's fine.
that. Okay, so the last year you played was what year?
Well, that was 07. That was the last time I played, because I quit. I had to quit playing in 08, 09 because of my back. So
at that point, it wasn't quite 20,000 fans on that.
It was close. I mean, they hadn't had it closed all the way in yet, but it was just the far right that wasn't all closed in. It was everything around on the left and behind was all closed in.
Don't get me wrong. I appreciate the fact that this is the one place to do it, but I think players might be a little bit fearful that Honda, for example, it's going to start spouting off to other places. So then it loses not only its effect, but also then players who intend to only have it one place are now dealing with a couple places.
I get it, but the tour can kind of quash that. But I get from a tournament standpoint, if you have that signature hole. But one other story, and people in Scottsdale know this, and I do not understand this.
Let's hear it.
They have to tear all that scaffolding down every year, and then I was there in November, October, and they're starting to build it then.
Yeah.
And these poor guys have to build that thing and tear it down. My point is, amend the city or whatever it is, the city regulations. Let that thing stand up. It's a tourist attraction.
Right. It is. I wonder why they don't. We should research that.
It's a city council ordinance.
Yeah, but at this point, I mean, it's a huge revenue stream
doesn't
for them.
Exactly. I mean, and you could have build a permanent bar there or something that people can come eat at.
Right.
And it would be. I mean,
look at Tripp, the innovator.
Yeah. Well, I want to build the bar there.
Okay. We'll end on that note.
Let's
if you like what you see, if you want to chime in, make sure to check out our YouTube channel.